Journalists have a job, Jason, to find the truth, to tell the truth, to speak the truth. And Tucker Carlson has been doing that for a very, very long time. And it's amazing to me, as I was reading through the article, I was trying to find, usually you're a journalist, so when you write your article, your footnotes and how you can track what's going on with what you stated in the beginning of the article is usually in your last couple paragraphs, right? It's not there. There's no facts of what they're calling Tucker, his racism, whatever. It's like it's not there. And so I went through and I was like, well, what is it that they're mad at him about? The things they stated at the top of some of these articles they were mad about was the ruling class. Well, yeah, we saw that with our own eyes. We saw the dossier. We saw Hunter Biden. We saw Nancy Pelosi not wearing a mask and telling everybody else to wear a mask. We saw the whole last during the pandemic, all the elites and what they were allowed to do and what we as general population of people were allowed to do. And Tucker was calling that out. Where was the Times at on that?
I'll say it again, as I've said before, and I think it's important because what this piece exemplifies and the piece that was done earlier in the week on me in the Washington Post is a strategy that they have in mind, and they believe it works, and it has proven to work. That if we say something enough times, the people who get their information tacitly will believe it. And so I'm going to repeat something that I've said often because I think our audience needs to hear this. This history of Black people, what happened to Black people here in America, is being used to deconstruct and destroy America.
I want us as modern women to stop using this scare tactic. Oh, we're not going to have a choice. You have a choice. This is not the old days where women would lay there and let the man climb on top of them and just do his business. We're not there anymore. Not only are we not just laying there while he does his business, we are looking for the business. We like the business. We want to give him the business. 60 million babies in 50 years is not a result of women not having a choice. It's not a result of them not being in control of their bodies or being raped or molested. 60 million babies is a result of us being immoral sexually, out of control, using abortion as a method of birth control and using it as a crutch to be irresponsible. That's what 60 million babies is. And I want us to stop lying as modern women like we don't have a choice. We have a lot of choices to not get pregnant. It's very simple.
For Black people everywhere, from a pure political, practical standpoint, if Joe Biden is going to tell us that our population size is going to be the linchpin with which we have political capital and leverage to negotiate the terms of our social contract, then by default, we should be anti-abortion and we should be anti-open borders from a practical standpoint. And that is something Joe Biden told the Congressional Black Caucus. And there is an intentional effort to let 1 million plus illegal immigrants cross over our border every year. And as that happens, the political capital, the social capital for Black people in this country will fall by the wayside. And their pitch is that don't worry about it. You don't have to worry about the American dream anymore. You don't have to worry about your citizenship. What we're going to offer you is a material high and sometimes a real drug high that's going to be so good you'll be happy for the new global citizenship and all of the many golds and shinies and glimmers that it brings.
If we had an ounce of Will Smith's self-awareness, we would slap the entire Democratic Party, including Barack Obama, and we'd tell Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Nancy Pelosi, and Maxine Waters to keep our names out of their mouths. I say this in reaction to the abortion debate raging across our country. The leak of Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito's rough draft of a decision to overturn Roe v. Wade lays bare the emasculation and secularization of Black men. We're willing lambs sacrificed in honor of agendas that do not serve us. No matter what Joy Reid and her parade of idiots say on MSNBC, abortion does not serve the cause of Black men or Black people. Abortion is not a racial justice issue. It's a racial injustice issue. If Raphael Warnock came in here right now I honestly think I would strike you. And I say that without trying to be an idiot or brag or anything like that. But I think of like, what would Peter do? I might cut this dude's ear off. I don't know. I think I would strike. I'm that offended, and I'm that offended about where we've gone as a culture and a society. We're justifying anything in the name of God. Yeah. Right. And so I don't help me.
No, what's happening inside of you is a good thing. It's called righteous indignation. Don't forget that Jesus even got upset in the temple courts. That's when he turned over the tables of the money changers and pulled out a whip. So I think that, those feelings are good and right feelings.
My parents, my brothers and sisters, if I do some crazy stuff, it's a bad look for them. And I mean, my father gave me the worst whooping. And I don't know how I feel about whoopings now, but they certainly helped me. But my father gave me the worst whooping for farting. And I didn't understand why it was such a big deal. But in his mind, it embarrassed him. And so don't you dare fart out loud. Don't you do, people looking, blah, blah, blah. And that's the worst whooping I ever got from my father, because he told me not to do it, and I did it again. And he's like, boy, you thought I was playing. But
you thought it was
hard
a joke.
head makes a soft behind.
Anyway, bro, you deserve that. That was well deserved, man.
And I still haven't forgotten it. And that had to be, I'm 55, that had to be.
Hey, man, I got in trouble
46 years ago.
I hate to even say this, but I got in trouble for the Marines, in the Marines for the same thing.
In the Marines?
I got in trouble in the Marines for the same thing. We was supposed to be in a meeting, and I just let out one just to be funny. I never done so many bends and thrusts in my life. And he said, you think it's funny? You think it's funny? You think it's funny when you're in a foxhole and everyone's got to be quiet and you blow your ass and the enemy hears it and then he gets everyone killed? Kind of took the fun out of it for me. Like, damn, it was just a fart, man. Don't go there.
How important was Kevin Samuels?
Incredibly important. And I'll be honest with you, I never thought I'd be the Ricky Henderson on this particular subject, but it is true. I've watched a lot of Kevin Samuels, and it was about 2-3 summers ago when he came into prominence that I started to text you, among other people, saying, have you seen this gentleman here who is really blunt? I call him the sledgehammer because he hits you over the head with the truth over and over again, and sometimes it's very bloody. When you talk about his importance, and you say black manosphere, I don't think it's just black. I think that's actually not giving him enough credit. What's interesting this morning is, as it was confirmed that Mr. Samuels had passed away, one of the first texts that I got regarding his death was from a former NFL player who's white, which is surprising. The second text I got is from a former professional boxer of note who's black.
A lot of women consider their degree as something that makes them better than black men. He wasn't telling you to be stupid or to not go to school. He was pretty much telling you to not let this degree make you feel arrogant and better than a black man that maybe doesn't have one. So he was telling us good things. He was saying, try to work out your relationship. If you're married, do what you can to try to make that relationship survive so that you can raise your kids in the same household. He wasn't saying anything that we really should have been offended by when it came to the black family and valuing the black man. And what I feel like he did was he gave black men a voice. Because listen, we have no problem calling men deadbeat dads. We have no problem saying that men ain't shit. Nobody gets offended when women say that over and over, day in and day out. What he told us was to stop running with those negative narratives. There are good men out here, and we should value them.